Another Crab's Treasure is a game I've been excited about since it was announced. It's a Souls-like title, but with a cutesy, colourful style that defies the norms we're accustomed to in the genre. Now, plus the promise of assist options then ensures that gamers of all skill levels can get involved and have some fun. I was eagerly awaiting its release in 2023, but unfortunately, like many games, it faced a delay until early 2024. That said, there is a silver lining. They've just released a timed demo as part of the Steam Next Fest, so we can get a taste of what is to come. Now, if you enjoyed this video today, do not forget to subscribe. It helps the channel a huge amount. Also, be sure to check out our website, xpcorner.net, because there we will be covering all things Another Crab's Treasure as we do close in on launch. Footage today then is of course from the PC build with all settings maxed out. It will additionally launch on Xbox and Nintendo Switch, but there is no word on demos for those builds. So being a demo, it's not going to be giving us a huge amount of insight, and there's not a single bit of story outside of maybe a few characters that add some context to the locations that we do get to visit. That's going to be two areas. One is a training area to get to grips with the mechanics, while another appears to be further into the experience. But yeah, both of these feature a boss encounter, and I played with a controller after I did remap a few of the controls because the initial setup wasn't ideal for me personally. It was using RB for attacks, for example, so I switched that to the main R trigger. One concern I had about this game, and I think many shared this worry in fact, was the question, will it still be challenging considering the developer's vocal promotion of the game's versatility that supposedly accommodates all skill levels? Well, I'm here to tell you, on the preset difficulty, it is as hard-hitting as you would hope. It overwhelmed me more than a few times, and this especially being true during the boss encounters. They absolutely destroyed me. Even the training level boss deals a massive amount of damage in comparison to your output. Therefore, strategy is absolutely necessary. The main defensive measures available include a dodge roll, the ability to jump, and you can defend, which in this case involves crawling into your shell. The dodge roll, I'm still getting used to it personally. It seems incredibly unforgiving in relation to timing your maneuver just right to receive invincibility frames, so much so in fact I may say they could do with it being a little bit more lenient. Then the shells, they show huge promise as a mechanic you will want to explore. Each shell packs different stats such as the amount of damage they can receive, their size which is going to impact your movement, and also they do have a special ability. Examples of this: a red cup gives you drunken fist, increasing your damage. There's a health drink that slowly heals you, and then there's shot glasses that can temporarily turn into spikes. This alternate purpose really is fun to explore, and I found myself investigating every single item that crossed my path. Outside of defense then, we do get a standard attack which can be used mid-air. A heavy attack is introduced as well in the second location. This will clearly change with progression, as you can see a switch option on the pause menu, and you do get a grapple hook as well, which can be used not only for traversal but also against enemies to reel them in. Much like a typical Souls-like as well, you can open up shortcuts, which are going to be fishing rods in this case, and there is an option to fast travel. This is beneficial because on death you lose all items, and you must make your way back to the location to recollect them. Additionally, all enemies do respawn again on death, so it allows you to bypass large chunks of land that may be ahead. The enemies then come in all shapes and sizes, from crabs that are comparable to yourself all the way up to screen-filling bosses. One enemy type that is particularly frustrating are those that have bow and arrows. They seem to have a near-perfect aim, and they can hit you from incredibly far away. This is another thing that may need some tweaking in my opinion. Now, throughout this video today, I do want to note here as well, I'm going to be giving feedback on what I've seen this far. That's the point of this demo. They are collating feedback so they can provide the best possible experience, and they need our help to do that. I've gone ahead and linked the feedback form on the xpcorner.net website, and I do urge you to fill it out if you do play the demo. The locations I've seen then this far, I really do like them. It's clear that some skills will be required to see everything it has to offer, and I'm yet to get to that point in the game. They've also got a strong design that allows us to demonstrate our platforming abilities. At certain locations as well, moon snail shells, these we get a skill tree system, though I'm yet to unlock anything, but it really gives you an idea of some of the options that are ahead. It's broken down into 3 areas: way of the hermit, way of the predator, way of the true crabs, and no doubt these are going to be designed to align with different playstyles. It's also worth noting as well, combat can be avoided, and I would actually suggest it in areas where you can get overwhelmed. You want to be aware of your resources as well, because for example, using your spear to reel enemies in just feels fantastic. but it's actually associated to an ammo type, barbed hooks, so you don't want to go ahead and use them all simply for the sake of it. So one thing the demo doesn't do a great job of explaining everything that can be beneficial. So let me break down some things that maybe weren't immediately apparent for me. So first, you can level up our protagonist with microplastic. This impacts 4 different stats and could be hugely beneficial for taking down bigger enemies. Then we have what are called stowaways. You will find these shining and glowing in the world, and they're essentially buffers which can be attached to your character. You can do this from the pause menu, and I was leaning exclusively into options that increased my attack power. You can equip up to 3 at this juncture of the game, and they do absolutely make a difference. It also appears we will get to add a second adaptation. That's actually your special ability, but I'm still yet to uncover another one. So overall, I'm having fun, but it is a demo and it still has problems that they are working towards solving. They are clearly hoping for feedback as well to guide tweaks that do need to be made, so let me throw my 2 cents in. So we've already addressed the invincibility frames, but I think there's some noticeable balancing that needs to be done generally. Some enemies feel simply overpowered and too capable in relation to their hit chances. Again, those bow and arrows, an absolute pain. I also do feel equipping your shell for a defensive measure, it's a little bit on the slow side, and I often struggled to get situated if an enemy had already started an attack pattern. From there, things are more minor. When you rotate the camera to look up currently, there's some awkward clipping as the camera cuts through the world. The jumping mechanic feels solid, but if the location is in shade, you can't see your character's shadow, which makes some areas a little bit frustrating as, if you miss a platform, you're going to be falling to your death quite frequently, so put something in here just to allow us to align with it. Even when the sun is shining, in fact, that shadow on display, it's a little bit small and bubbles around your character often obscure it. Yes, it is nitpicky, but smaller tweaks can make a huge difference. The only other thing I didn't like, when you want to lock onto an enemy, you click the right stick, but for some reason, visually, it introduces black bars at the top and the bottom of the screen. It makes you feel like you can see less, and I think this is a really unusual design decision and absolutely not necessary. That's really it right now. Some players have reported falling through the world on a specific boss moment. That didn't happen to me personally, and again, it is a demo environment. To wrap up then, I just quickly want to address the assist options that they've added, which are just great fun and open up the experience to everyone. This includes everything from extra shell durability to reducing attack power, damage taken, and even item losses. Perhaps you want a bigger parry or dodge window, that's packed in here too. You can even turn off damage, and when you fall down a pit, you'll basically just respawn. By far my favorite option, however, is give Kril a gun, and the name really says it all. Your shell becomes a pistol, and I was curious, so I turned it on a repeat of a boss encounter, thinking how much power can this thing truly have, and one shot killed this boss immediately. To give you a comparison, my first completion of this boss probably took me somewhere in the region of 15 to 20 minutes, so it truly is gonna be playable by all. Also, just the imagery of a gun shell is pretty damn amazing as well. So another Crab's Treasure is a game I'm extremely excited for, and yes, I can see where it needs to be fine-tuned, but it is coming together nicely, and having played this demo now, it is showing the potential I had hoped for. The combat's fun, the world is unique, and the slower customizable options will have me experimenting for a long time to come, even just within this demo build. Hopefully now they have the time to take on player feedback in advance of launch, because the effort is clear, and we're really at the final hurdle. With 18 bosses then promised in the fall of game, I'm excited to see how the natural progression works, how this world changes, and most importantly, what they have in store for the story, because this demo really gives us, as I said, nothing, and this world has so much potential with these characters. I hope they don't relegate it to a simple setup and nothing beyond that. We will find out as we do get closer to launch, and yeah, stick around with XP Corner as we do intend to cover every update we can get our hands on. Until then, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists weekly, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.